us now live is Olly Murs. Olly, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
I can't see. I'm just going to move my mic. There you go.
Okay.
I can see it now.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
That's a song. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl in a hit that I got.
Skilo!
I wish. In a hat with a bat.
Oh, I knew I liked you.
Taller.
I knew I liked you, not only from the accent, but now that you just did Skilo, I wish.
We just need to say, I wish I was a little bit taller.
I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
All right, looks like I'm done here.
Hey, welcome to Providence.
It's a pleasure to be here. You know what? Thank you so much for having me.
If you checked our Twitter account and Facebook page, that's the way we promoted you today, that you were going to be on the radio station. So everyone that was listening earlier on, they didn't hear it live, but now you're here. So thank you for coming.
Oh, no.
And if you can't tell by the accent, you came from across the pond. So you're welcome to New England, not England.
It's a pleasure. We just started to snow here just as I walked in the door, in case you didn't know. I know you guys have been here for the last few hours, but it's just starting to snow, which is cool.
Yeah, we're going to get snowed in together. Is that what you thought?
I thought he was Canadian.
Did you think I was Canadian?
No.
Ah, you're joking. Okay, cool.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you were touring with One Direction in the
last summer,
yeah, last summer. So you've been to the States before.
Yeah, it was amazing. I had a really great last year, and you know, I've been around for the last 3 years in the UK, and the last album, Heart Skips a Beat, was my last song. I think you guys might have been playing here, featuring Chitty Bang. So yeah, I've just been working really hard the last 3 or 4 years, and you know, the UK's brilliant and Europe's great, and I just thought I'd come over to the States and see how it goes. And you know, the One Direction tour last year was insane. It was great fun, and it's just a pleasure to be here. And I've got a new single coming out, which is Troublemaker,
right,
featuring Flo Rida, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about coming over, and I hope you guys like the new song.
Now, your third album comes out in April. It drops here in the States. But you have a really trippy story. Your backstory, I mean, because you went from being an athlete, correct?
Yeah, I was a soccer player, yeah.
Right. So, but when we say soccer, it's like football, though, overseas.
Football in the UK, yeah,
exactly.
Soccer here.
He got it right. Usually have football, and then, oh no, you guys call it soccer.
Exactly.
You almost nailed it.
Exactly. But so you were an athlete, and then you became a singer-songwriter. You went on to the X Factor, the UK version of the X Factor.
Yes.
You were runner-up.
Yes.
That's insane. How did that happen?
It was just crazy. You know, I can go back to when you said I was a soccer player. I got a cruciate ligament injury, and I was about 22, 23, and I completely thought that was it. I wanted to be a pro, and it didn't quite work out. And then I had no other ways of seeing my friends, so I started to sing down the pub with them, like just socialising and stuff like that. And then I just saw the advert for the X Factor, and I applied for it twice, failed, and then on the third attempt, I decided I got through, luckily, and I went all the way through to the finals and finished runner-up, which was amazing. And obviously the X Factor in the UK is the biggest show. I mean, it was kind of like Idol here or The Voice, you know. It's like the biggest reality show. It was watched by 20 million people the year I watched it. The year I was on it, sorry. So
Simon Cowell?
Yeah,
was he a judge?
Simon was my mentor, yeah. So,
get out of here.
Yeah, so Simon was really behind me the whole way. He took a risk on me, and he said some amazing things, and really sort of since I've left the show, he's been sort of behind me all the way. So it's been great. So
he's not really a meanie in real life.
Do you know what? You either love him or hate Simon. I think here in the States. So that's kind of what I get the impression. But you know what? He's just a lovely man. You know, for what he does for charities and stuff, and what he's done for me in my career, and you know, he's a charming man, and you know, he's the real first person that gave me a break, and I'll never forget that. But yeah, you know, since then I've had 3 albums out in the UK, which have all done really well. And yeah, you know, I hope you come over here into the States and see what happens.
Right, talk about one door closing and another one opening for you.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
I think, you know, the X Factor, I mean, I don't know what the reality shows are like over here, but I think, you know, I think what it does is not everyone can go to a record label and drop their music off and say, here I am, you know what I mean? Not everyone gets that amazing opportunity. Where I think what the X Factor's giving, like the American Idol here and other shows, is it takes people from small towns, and you know, I came from a small town called Witham in Essex. It was, you know, I couldn't go to London and dish out my single, and I didn't have any contacts or nothing. So the X Factor gave me a chance to sing in front of millions of people, and gave me an amazing opportunity to showcase my talent. And weirdly enough, you know, like I say, 3 years from now, I can't believe I'm sitting chatting to you guys. You know, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, that is fun.
So it's been a great 3.5 years. I'm loving it.
I can throw a small town out for you. I have a friend that's from Harrogate.
In Harrogate, that's near Leeds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played there recently. I played there 2 years ago in a theatre close to there. So, no, I mean, for me, it's crazy coming to the States and seeing how big this place is. It's insane. I mean, you know, in the UK, you know, we're so small compared to you guys, like this little wee little island, and you guys, we come over here, and it's just, you know, I remember we travelled once from Texas to say somewhere, I can't remember where it was now, it was like a 12-hour, 14-hour journey in a car. I mean, you could do the whole of England in one day doing that.
Right.
It's insane. So, you know, it has been a bit of a, God, you know, reality's hitting, coming here to the States. It's such a big country, and there's so many different places you can get to.
So now on your new single, Troublemaker, it's featuring Flo Rida.
Yes.
Did you get to go into the studio with him? Or?
I didn't, no.
Oh,
Do you know what, the art of technology, I literally, I think, I would love to have been like, I followed him on Twitter and then DM'd him, but I didn't. It was close to that pretty much. We just emailed. We had contact with him previously because we were going to get into Heart Skips a Beat, and he wasn't around to do it. He had promotions on at the time. So we then got in contact with Troublemaker. So I wrote the song for him. We want to get the best, you know, aim for the best and see what happens. And he luckily enough said he'd love to do it. Sent him the track, and then we all just sat there with our fingers crossed, just waiting for this song to come back a few days later, and it sounded amazing. So brilliant.
What about any other collaborations that are featured on the album?
There's no more, and that was the only one.
Anyone that you want to work with in the future?
God, I mean, there's so many, isn't there? I mean, Michael Bublé's always been a massive fan of Michael's. I've always been a huge fan of like Stevie Wonder and people like that.
Oh, me too.
But you never know. I mean, I think like anything, you know, I never.
I'm a big Stevie fan. Love Motown.
Yeah, but in a year, like I never expected if someone had said to me last year, if I'd done One Direction 2 on Popular Scene and you said, you know what, Ollie, you're going to have a hit single with Flo Rida next year, I'd have been like, shut up, whatever, that ain't going to happen. So, you know, you never know. I think it all depends on the song, it all depends, you know, who you can get. And I think I would never have put Troublemaker with Flo Rida at the start, but I wanted him to do it, I felt he could do it, amazing, he put his vocal on it, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this is amazing, so it's cool. Well, I think it's amazing.
I love it, it's so infectious and fun.
Thank you very much.
We're talking to Olly Murs here, and we've had a bit of a sort of British invasion over the past probably year and a half or so, with Calvin Harris, One Direction, you know, even with Adele, popped on the scene and boom, and you know, some new artists.
I think it's been a long time, hasn't it? I mean, you think of Coldplay. I mean, no, he's only bits and bobs, but you had like Amy Winehouse back in you know the late 2005. I think it was 2004, 5 or 6. So yeah, it's been going on for a long time. I mean, you know, especially with The Wanted as well. They've had a massive hit. Magic Cambridge, I think, was one of the biggest hits of 2012 here in America. So there's so many. Jessie J, Tiny Template, Ed Sheeran now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. I think I've got it down to the fact that I think technology's changed in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe last 2 years, a lot. And I think Twitter especially, it's open worldwide now. It's not just, you know, the UK. Like almost when you do Facebook, it was just UK really, and then if you do different territories, it use different things. But I think Twitter's so worldwide now that, you know, you can instantly see fans from across the world that are tweeting you, and I think fans are more interested now when they go on the internet. They're always seeking new music, and you know, back in the day, you almost just sort of bought into whoever was #1. Whereas I think now, if you want to like someone that isn't the most popular artist in the world, but you love his music, you can. There's nothing saying you can't. I think that's what it is now. Just got so much variety. There's so much music out there, and you've got a chance to look around the world, and that's basically what it is.
And getting back to the music and getting back to the basics, I mean, now you're a songwriter. What's that process like for you? Have you always been a songwriter?
Not at all. I could barely write on a piece of paper, let alone write a song. No, do you know what? I literally, it was so weird. I don't know, I hate being sort of cheesy. I don't know, I suppose I was naturally got into the studio and it just naturally worked for me. I never wrote a song in my life, but once I walked into the studio with the team around me, and luckily enough I've worked with some amazing people, I just started writing, getting involved in it. I said, you know, what do I do? And they were just like, well, just say what you feel, you know, and I learnt a lot from my first album, and then sort of gradually since then I've kind of really got into it, and I've always felt I know what a record should sound like and how I want it to be sound and how I think I want to come across and how certain lyrics that I would like to say that necessarily you wouldn't pick me normally. So it was the first year or so, it was a real tried and tested environment for me, and I got used to it. And what's so amazing for me is one of my favourite songs I wrote, which was Dance With Me Tonight. We wrote this song in like 3 hours, and it was so quick and easy and just bang, and you know, it just came with a silly hook, and then all of a sudden it then became one of my favourite records, and actually my biggest selling record in the UK. So, and it's a really old school Motown song, and I wanted to do something that was kind of like, you know, a bit doo-woppy, you know what I mean, and get people clicking their fingers and dancing. So, you know, that I love songwriting. I think it's a great experience. I think anyone, I don't say anyone can songwrite, I don't think they can, but you know, lucky enough for me, it's been something that I've been able, I'm like a duck to water really. I've just gone into it and it's been easy for me and I've enjoyed it.
Well, we can't wait to hear your song Troublemaker, and before we do that, we usually play a little game.
Games.
Yeah, with all of our guests here. So.
Okay, so here we go. It's called the 92 Pro FM Fast 5. 5 questions.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, we give you 2 choices. You pick one or the other.
A or B.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. David Beckham or Justin Timberlake?
Oh my God, you couldn't pick 2. I'd say David Beckham because I've been a fan from him since I was like 10 years old. I would love to meet him. He's my favourite, yeah.
I think you made that one very easy.
Yeah, David Beckham, 100%. I used to have the blonde curtains and everything when back
No,
in the
you
day.
did not.
Years ago. I'm probably David Beckham's one of his biggest fans. If I could, I'd be outside every hotel that he was at, stalking him.
And so would I. And so would I. Right
I
there
love
with you.
Beckham, he's legend.
All right, a hat or suspenders?
Oh, a hat. I know I've recently been wearing the suspenders, but a trilby hat for sure. I mean, you can even look at my hair today.
I just told you.
Barbie,
Good
it's all
hat
over
hair.
the place. Good hat hair, but yeah, I prefer a hat because it's all, you know, it's always there.
All right, the X Factor or the Extra Factor?
Extra Factor, for sure. Obviously, I work on the show. If people are listening, they're probably thinking, what's the Extra Factor? Well, it's kind of like I always link it to like the sports centre. You know, like when the game finishes and they analyse the show.
Right.
And they analyse the performance and the soccer game, whatever it is. Well, we analyse the show. We talk up to the artists, the contestants. We talk to the judges, and we have special guests on the show. And we kind of just analyse and get all the behind-the-scenes gossip. And I present the show with a lovely lady called Caroline Black. And it's been a really great career for me, TV presenting. So I think, especially in the UK, it kind of gave me my own little niche, and people got to know me better as a person, just as a normal guy. And yeah, we've done it for the last 2 years. It's been brilliant.
Okay, here we go. Troublemaker or peacemaker?
Oh, I'd rather be a peacemaker.
Okay.
I think there's too much trouble in the world. So it depends what kind of.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
It depends what kind of trouble you're thinking. If it's just sort of light-hearted trouble, you know what I mean, a bit teasing and a bit of fun, then of course I'd go with that. But I think if we're going to go, you bringing peace into it, I'd rather there be much more peace in the world than trouble. So.
One big love fest. And finally,
The final question.
UK football or American football?
Oh, I'm gonna.
You made these too easy.
I would actually say American football because I'd love to get to know the sport. I know I mean, of course, you normally pick UK football because I know it so much and I know it really well. But you know what? Coming to America more often, it'd be great to get to know the sport. And because to be honest, I would say 99, not 90%, 80% of the UK would probably watch American football and go, "What is going on?"
They're throwing it, they're kicking
Because
it.
we obviously have rugby,
Yeah.
which is just literally it get as far as you can to put a try down. But obviously American football is much more tactical and it's very much like, I don't know, the lines, and it's all a bit crazy for me. So if actually someone could sit down and explain the rules, and it'd be great to get to know it. But yeah.
We're going to teach you the rules of American football.
Yes,
Don't worry
we
about
will.
it.